Alrighty. Sorry for the delay. Had a little confusion there at the beginning. Great games to your table. I'm glad to have you with us today. I am Jonathan Albin, the Game Master's Guide, and today we're going to be talking about something we haven't ever talked about before. I call it the Valence Vanguard, and we'll talk more in particular about that after we get started. But before that, if you could hit all the buttons down below, let the algorithm know that you're part of this audience, and we'll get going, and you'll be able to be updated every time a new video comes out. All right. So, we're going to be looking at a thought experiment. And the question I pose for you is, what if storytelling, role-play games, wasn't just about characters and quests, but was about the connections that shape who we are and what we represent? For me, storytelling has always been more than just a game. It's been a way to understand the world and my place in it. Nikos, my homeworld that I operate when I'm playing role-play games, is born out of my own experiences, navigating life's challenges, learning how relationships evolve, and discovering how imagination isn't just a tool for escape, but actually for transformation. In Nikos, I've kind of established this concept, and so I'm going to try to describe how I came upon it so that you can kind of have a feel for it as well. The idea that connection between individuals and connections within a community has a better way of describing our interaction than when we try to describe us as individuals. It's been a long time coming because, of course, we have always described things by the individual. As a matter of fact, even when we look back to the concepts about how we came to be in this world, the arguments about how evolution works and how creatures evolve over time and things like that have always done so in such a way as to look at the individuals. But what if there's a larger connection? I'm going to be using a term that is, I believe, underutilized, and if you can see how it's useful, I recommend that you use it. And if not, if there's some reason why it perhaps is incorrect, feel free to let me know that as well. I'd love to have a conversation about it. But I'm taking the concept of valence. In chemistry, it's a description of the method by which chemicals, specific elements, will bond with other elements, and the amount of strength of the valent bond determines how solid the connection is between those items or not. And so when we speak of this, we're borrowing this term from chemistry to refer to the deep connections or loose connections between individuals within a system. But in life, it's the charge behind every connection that we make. The idea of the electromechanical connections, the intensity of our relationships, the weight of our choices, how the decisions we make ripple out into the world around us. And so I refer to this in terms of those situations either carrying a high valence, they're dramatic, life-changing events with a very rapid shifts and adaptations, or they are a low valence. They're slow, simple things that maintain their stability over time, but nonetheless, they do reflect how we interact. And the Nikos RPG mechanism actually captures both. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, realizing that this is a paradigm shifting perspective, I should say, to get used to my headers here. I hope the message of what I'm saying is coming through, even if the words might be gobbled a bit. Okay, but valence doesn't exist in isolation. In the world of Nikos, we actually are going to be referring to the covalence, the bonds that we form with others, loose or tight, long or short. Just like atoms share their electrons to create stability, we create stories, experiences, and emotions that build connections that last and that change the world around us. When I first started building the world of Nikos, it wasn't just about creating a game. It was about exploring how people connect, how we influence each other, and how our stories are interwoven in ways that we don't always see. Every campaign in Nikos is actually part of a much bigger picture. Every decision you make doesn't just affect your story, it affects and shapes the world of others, not only in the present, but in the future as well. These interactions are therefore captured in story form for groups to interact with each other, and therefore lead to evolution of the storyline over time. So, Nikos isn't static and neither is life. The game mirrors what is known as punctuated equilibrium, the idea that periods of stability are influenced by sudden dramatic changes that the entire system seems to adapt to. The idea, therefore, is that when we look at the periods of time of stability, what we're looking at is the places where the player's impact hasn't yet been felt. It's a concept from evolutionary biology, but it's something that we all have sort of experienced firsthand, that things will be going along swimmingly, everything will be going the way we anticipate, and then suddenly one thing changes and the whole world shifts. Now, there are moments in life when things seem stable all the way up until the moment it wasn't. I've done entire episodes dealing with my divorce, my loss of my daughter in a car accident, and so on. And these impacts that happen in real time, sometimes we adapt so fast we don't even realize that it's going on, but I refer to these as valence shifts. Moments where a decision, a conflict, or even a revelation about what somebody else is doing doesn't just change your character, it transforms your perspective about the entire world. And just like in real life, these shifts aren't always easy, but this is where real growth, real adaptation of the players. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Valence Vanguard. You guys are aware that I've got 4 to 6 games groups running at any given moment. At this point, I have 4 that are public and 2 that are private. But these games groups interact with the world of Nikos and in turn leave their mark upon what's going on in the world. And these are my Valence Vanguard. These are those people who have been here for the last 2, 3, 4 years and are experiencing the modern iteration of Nikos firsthand, and in a couple of cases have been playing for dozens of years and therefore are part of, you could argue, an older version of the Vanguard. But the idea here is that they're not just players, not just game masters, they're co-creators of an evolving world. Nikos, as defined by me when I'm storytelling, is not the only interpretation that is possible, and the players therefore carry their story forward, shaping not just the game, but the community, and in reality, the future of Nikos as the world exists. Now, whether you're a game master who weaves new narratives for your own adventure stories, a landowner who invests, someone who invests in the story and wants to become a part of it by being involved with it, or a player who just is forging connections across the campaigns and interacting with other players, you're not just participating, you're contributing to the living, breathing ecosystem of stories, relationships, and ideas that define Nikos. As the world evolves, therefore, so do the people who play in it. Now, introducing the Vanguard concept. In the Vanguard concept, you are going to be recognized for the effort that you've already put in. You'll earn badges, titles, and even significant locales and places in the ongoing history of a universe that's bigger than any one of us. But it's made real by our participation in it. So Nikos isn't just a game. It isn't just a game system. It's a reflection of how we grow, how we connect, how we can evolve together. As you've seen on all the pages, I put a link for actually purchasing the volumes that make up the initial Nikos launch. Now, these are in pre-release form, so they have not been blessed with any artwork other than their covers, which I did myself from clip art. But the game is the opportunity for you to shape the future and to play Nikos. It's where you belong, because you become part of the you become a part of the story by being a part of the world. And as in the idea of this covalent perspective, as you change, so the world changes, and as the world changes, so you're changing as well. And that applies not only to the framework of the gameplay, but in the general world as well, because your perspectives are changing as well. All right. So as you may know, I'm Jonathan Albin, the creator of Nikos. This isn't just a game system I've created. It's a result of my own journey, the challenges that I faced, and the lessons that I've learned through storytelling, connection, and personal growth. Now, for as long as I can remember, I've used imagination not only to escape reality, but to reshape it. Through, as I've mentioned, the loss of my daughter, the loss of my marriage, these all things played into the person that I am today. And through years of running games, building worlds, and collaborating with my players, I've seen firsthand how powerful stories can be. They teach us about ourselves, about each other, and about the world that we share. Nikos ostensibly grew out of that realization. Yes, it's been an adventure world for 50 years, but it's more than just dice rolls and character sheets. It's about the value, the valence of our choices, the covalent bonds that we make, and the evolution that happens when we deeply engage with our stories and the other participants. So if you're looking for a game that's not just about playing, but about growing, about becoming, as a storyteller, as a player, and as a person, I invite you to join us. Check out the links below in the description. Join our community over at patreon.com/NikosRPG, and let's build something amazing together. For more information, check out NikosRPG.com, which is our website, and you can also find the property for sale at the link down below. We'll see you guys all in the next episode. Thank you for being here. Remember, we do record mornings and evenings, Monday through Thursday, and Friday mornings as well. Have a great day.